If you are suffering from back pain, not only this, but headaches, migraine, and other problems that I'll show on the screen, well, you gotta watch this video, because I'm going to present you something that nobody ever told you, and you're gonna see how much it makes sense. But talking a little about me, back in 2019, I had many of these problems I described. Despite my young age, like 27 years and 6, whatever, I was suffering from headaches and depression and anxiety, respiratory problems and such. And I got sad because I couldn't find much of solution into traditional medicine, because everything doctors do is recommend you pills to the rest of your life where you're gonna treat the symptom but never the root cause. So in this video, I'm gonna bring something that really changed my life. But before talking about solution, let's talk about the problems we are having so you can understand what your spine has to do with all of it. So the first thing you gotta know is that you have your spine with your intervertebral discs all along, and between them it's running nerves that came from your brain, carrying information and also nutrients. So get this point, by the bad usage of your body, whatever is the way you wash the dishes, the way you brush the teeth, the way you work, the way you drive, the way you use your phone, your notebook, well, whatever. But by the wrong usage of your body, you end up like smashing the nerves between the intervertebral discs, because they are coming closer and closer, and when it's happened, it starts to press down, compress your nerves. And once it happens, the nerves won't be able to send the correct information about that organ, about that muscle to your brain. So it's gonna start to work wrongly. Let me give you an example. You have your stomach, and the nerves send information to your brain about how much acid it should be produced. But if the nerves are being compressed, they send the wrong information. So the brain sends the order, the command to produce less acid than you need, or on the other hand, it might produce much more acid than you need, and you're going to suffer from gastritis. So take this concept to the other organs of your body. Your liver, your intestines, your pancreas, your bladder, and even your heart can beat on slower or faster paces depending on what the nerves are sending information to your brain. Even acid reflux can be caused by this, and also insomnia, respiratory problems. Can affect your vision, your hearing, and many other things. So if you want to get the cure, you gotta bring back space to your nerves works correctly, and this is what I'm gonna teach you in this video. Headaches can be caused by nerves compression on your cervical, and I was a little hunchback when I was suffering from it. Once I fixed it, I never had this problem no more. But what happens is that everything we do in life, we bring our hands forward, and our shoulders also go forward and up, and our head always go forward as well, because our brain understands that this is the correct thing to do, because we are always doing things forward. So he makes our body bends forward, and this takes out the space of our spine and causes a lot of pressure on our nerves. If you observe older people, you see they have their shoulders and head clenched forward. No surprise, they are the ones who suffer from more disease and pain compared to younger people. That's because they had more time to use their body wrongly than the younger people. But a disclaimer, younger people can also have some of these problems. I was an example. And babies can born with nerves compression as well. And kids nowadays are already growing up using smartphones, so their spines are going to be affected, no way around. Another problem that happens when your shoulders and head goes forward is that your chest starts to get smaller and you lose space to breathe. That happens to me because on the past, when I tried to fulfill my lungs, I simply could not, because I felt resistance of my bones. So I had respiratory problems, and I went to many doctors, older doctors, and nobody could say a thing about my physical condition. They only prescribed pills to take the rest of my life. And that made me angry, because there was nobody there to look at the root cause of my problem, to look at my body as a whole and not simply a symptom. But this is how the traditional medicine works. In 2019, I was also feeling a lot depressed and with a lot of anxiety, insomnia, And one day I had a panic attack for no reason. I don't know why that happened, but it was pretty crazy and pretty scary at the same time. And I never been like that before. I never been anxious in my whole life. But what I do know is that there is a muscle with a strange name. It's called psoas, and it has a connection with glands that produce hormones and substances that, if overproduced, you feel anxious. If it's not enough production, you feel depression. So again, the nerves compression can cause also changes of humor as well. That's why some people call the psoas as the muscle of the soul. And also by those times I was suffering from tendinitis because everything we do in life, we are always closing our hands, and when we close our fingers, we bring the bones together, and our brain understands that closing is the right thing to do. He's stupid and he makes that. But what really happens is that the nerves on your hands, they start to feel compressed by your bones. So you're gonna start to feel pain and your nerves won't take correctly the minerals to your muscles of your hands. So you see, older people have osteoarthritis, Parkinson and such. And it's funny how TV commercial sells you collagen, omega-3 and other things to replace the lack of these minerals in your body, but the truth is that your body still produces, but it won't get to where it should be because the nerves won't take it because they are being compressed. And if you go to a doctor or a physiotherapist to complain about, he's gonna say that the muscle of your hands are going weak, so you should make exercises to make them stronger. And he's gonna give you those damn grip balls or spring grip that are going to damage your hands even more, because instead of stretching up your fingers to give more space to your nerves, you're gonna make it even more compressed. So that's madness. But still on this concept of minerals being sent to wrong places on your body, there are people who have tight saddlebags or bunion on their feet, and also asymmetry on their faces or a nose that comes to the left or to the right. And all these problems can be caused by nerves compression, even in your face. And believe it or not, it can't be fixed, of course not quick. It's all about the calcium being sent to the wrong place, but it can't be fixed if you have patience. And what changed the game for me to get rid of all these problems I had is when I found out on YouTube the channel of the Dr. Aldney Neves from the channel Viva Sem Dor, which means live with no pain, because his methodology is different from everything I ever heard. He is a physiotherapist with more than 30 years of experience, 100,000 of clients, and he developed the ECOA method that takes our body back to the correct position, working with relaxation, because that's how our brain is going to understand what is correct, and not simply stretching up like any other would do, that could even hurt your body even more. And this is another point, because Dr. Aldney usually speaks against the traditional physiotherapy, and he explains pretty wisely why some of the practices they are teaching to their clients are actually damaging them with temporary solutions that won't bring the cure. And just to make clear, this is not a sponsored video. I never spoke to him by any means, not even online. I'm just recording because it changed my life and the lives of the people which I presented this method. And I got so glad that I became like a crazy religious who is always preaching about this method that is revolutionary for sure. And also pretty accessible, because the price he asks is one-time purchase you don't have to pay to the rest of your life, and is pretty cheap. Like if you pay in dollars, it's gonna be ridiculous. The only problem is that he only speaks Brazilian Portuguese. So I suggest you to look for ways to translate even with AI, and I hope that someday YouTube implements a tool that can translate his videos, whatever. But whatever you can do to listen to him, do it, because it's gonna be for good. Same way, this is an example of a patient who reversed herniated disc on a cervical in 2 years and a half, making his exercises. And there are many examples he shows on YouTube of people that avoided surgery, as well as he always tells that 90% of surgeries could be avoided. And most people who do this on their spines don't feel like 100% cured, and surgeries don't change the way the person uses her body. So even with pins on your discs, your brain won't recognize it as correct. And Dr. Aldney many times speaks against chiropractic and many of the practice of physiotherapy, and I'm going to explain. The chiropractor is gonna analyze your body and he's gonna put back the bone to the correct position. What's wrong about that? The thing is, it wasn't you who did this, it was somebody else, so your body will not recognize this as something right and correct, so he's gonna think it's wrong, and within the days or weeks, the bone is gonna go out to the wrong place where it was before, because for your brain, it's the correct, because remember, you are the one who put the bone there on the wrong position by the way you use your body along the day. So all the problems you had before are going to come back, and you have to go to the chiropractor again to make the same thing over and over. And something similar happens with the physiotherapy, because they do not consider the relaxation as a key to make your brain understand and assimilate the new reality of your body. So for example, when I was suffering at those times, 2019, I was feeling a lot of pain on the laterals of my thighs. Maybe the name is bursitis or something like that. And this is caused by the nervous compression on the lumbar back. But if you go to a doctor, he's gonna apply his force against the nerve on your thighs, trying to neutralize the inflammation carried by that nerve. The patient gonna feel relief for a few days or weeks, but when the nerves come back to work, the pain is also coming back. And the patient gonna look for the same professional to do the same thing again, over and over, spending time, spending money, and never getting cured. Do you understand what I mean? And also the Dr. Aldney speaks against the practice of yoga and Pilates. That's because he attended too many teachers of this practice, not only students, and they all feel pain because they are hurting their bodies by the things they do. But the main thing that's going to hurt your body even more is the practice of gym, because it's going to compress the nerve, overload tendons, bring head forward, and give you a lot of injuries. And that's the opposite of what Dr. Aldney teaches on his method. So you're gonna hurt your body no way around. But of course there are some activities that you can do of fresh air that are going to benefit your body, like walking. And some few others he tells on his videos, but I don't remember right now. But changing subject, there's something else I want to warn you about. So pay attention. Don't go to the YouTube to find ways to bring your spine backwards. Don't do that, because most of these videos are not taking in consideration the relaxation method and the fact that you gotta gain space on your chest, on your shoulders before trying to bring your spine back. Otherwise, you might even get the result, statically saying, but the nerves are still going to be compressed and your organs are still going to be affected by this. So taking me as example, that pain I said I had in the lateral thighs, I got rid of them, getting space in my lumbar by the exercises that Dr. Aldney teaches. And it took me 4 months to get the cure, to never have this pain again. 4 months was the time to my brain to assimilate the new condition, so he could understand what was going on, so he could transmit the correct information, so I stopped feeling pain. For you, it might be faster, it might be longer, but I heard of people who said was suffering from the same pain more than 20 years and tried everything and could never find any result. And that's why he didn't try it what I did, unfortunately. And the last warning I have is that maybe before getting good, you're gonna get worse. And that's because when you start doing his method, his exercises, and your nerves start to get decompressed, they are not going to work properly, because it's like they still don't understand what is happening. It's like they've been sleeping and they just woke up, so they need a little time to start sending the information on the correct way. I remember when I started, I felt a little vertigo that lasts for kinda 3 weeks or something like that, but I didn't give up because I knew I was on the right path, and that was happening because my nerves were starting to get decompressed. So that's what happened to me and I got good. So this is what I have to say in this video. Of course, I cannot show his exercises in this video because I didn't ask it for permission and there are too many I couldn't show here. But I recommend you go there and check for yourself wherever it is, to his YouTube channel or the website. The link is in the description. I hope it helps, and please leave a like so more people can know about these techniques that really helps them get cured, and not simply spend money on practice that won't help anyone, because healthy people are not profitable. That's it. Thank you.